Radiant Red from Image Comics. This is issue number 1 of 5. So this is a mini-series, and it is another spin-off off the Radiant Red. I say another because there was the Supermassive, and I don't know if you want to count Rogue Sun as a spin-off, but Rogue Sun is set in the same universe, so you could technically see it as a spin-off. But yeah, this is something that I wish they would have done for the origin stories, where we just have a mini-series and the mini-series can touch upon everyone's origin story, because I hated the way that they did it in the main run, where we would be in the middle of an arc and then we will stop so we can have an origin story that doesn't help at all for the current arc. What I mean by that is, if we were in the middle of an arc and then we had an origin story of one of the Radiants, and somehow something in that origin story later plays off in the arc to help them, like maybe something in the origin story reminds them of like, oh, I remember doing this. What if I do this now against this current baddie? And so we basically have a flashback origin story, but that flashback origin story helps set up a new way to beat the current villain or whatever in the arc. If we did that, fine, but we didn't. Instead, we just had an origin story that had nothing whatsoever to do with the current arc and just completely disrupt the flow. And yeah, I've constantly said, please just put it in another mini-series and tell your origin stories there, because having it disrupt the flow of the main run is really annoying. But this isn't even an origin story because we already got Radiant Red's origin story. Instead, this is basically a, what is Radiant Red currently doing kind of story. And so we have our main character, Satomi, Radiant Red, and we have a flashback about 2 months ago where she's about to rob a bank, and then she ends up robbing the bank. First off, I'll say the artwork for this is terrible. Look at Satomi right here. This is 2 months before the current day run of the Radiant Black. Like the setting for the Radiant Black as we are right now, this is 2 months before. Why does she look like a child? She looks like she's 8 years old. She looks like a dwarf. Like, what is this? Why is she so tiny? Why is she so small? Why does she not have any, she doesn't have a waist, she doesn't have any feminine shape. Her face is small and chubby. Like, this looks like a small child. This looks like a hobbit. Why is Satomi a hobbit? Satomi is not a hobbit in the main run. She's not tiny. She might be a few inches smaller than some of the other characters, but I mean, she's almost the same size as Marshall, and Marshall is not a tiny guy. He's about average size. But here, yeah, Satomi is really freaking tiny. She looks like a small child. We have her story where she goes and robs a bank, blah blah blah, and then we can now cut to the present day, where she's watching a news broadcast and they find out that the perpetrator for the person who robbed the bank is Radiant Red. They don't say the name's Radiant Red, but they have like a photo of her as Radiant Red. And Satomi is, of course, upset. She doesn't, I guess she's upset that she caused a lot of businesses and people to lose their jobs and stuff like that. She hurt a lot of people. And it's like, good. You should be upset. You're robbing banks when you don't need to. You needed to rob like one bank, and that was it. And you could have done that without collateral damage. But then after you robbed the one bank, you kept robbing a bunch of other banks, and you didn't need to do that. Also, why are you still with this guy? The whole reason why you're robbing banks and stuff is because this guy that you're engaged to get married to is an a-hole who took all your money, including all your savings money that you were saving up to use to go to college, and spent it all on gambling. Why are you still with him? Like, he screwed you over. I don't understand. But yeah, he's asking like, what are we gonna do about the money? And she's like, don't touch it. So she's been stealing money and not using any of it. I don't know if she's waiting for the heat to die down or what. But yeah, she basically keeps all the money inside an air vent, and she hasn't really touched it. And so the guy leaves to go on his... he says he has a group meeting. I think maybe it's some kind of meeting to like a gambler recovery kind of thing. What the hell would they call it? Rehab for gambling, I guess. I'm assuming. I mean, they don't say it, but that's what I'm thinking it is. But yeah, so Satomi decides to go check in on her family and stuff. And once again, she looks like a really just small child. She's almost the same size as her little cousins. Like, what is this? Why is she so tiny? What's going on? And then we have a flashback to her when she was younger and like what she wanted to do with her life. Like she wanted to travel Japan and stuff like that. The flashback could have been done better. Usually with flashbacks, you have like a black border or something. That would have helped because I was kind of confused. It's like we have Satomi, as she is now, and all of a sudden we cut to her looking the same, but her hair is different and she has like red highlights and stuff. And it completely jumps right to that without any kind of like, years before or black borders or any indication that this was a flashback. So it took me like a little while, and I was like, oh, wait, I think this is a flashback. Yeah, this is a flashback. So Satomi is basically looking at photos of her family and things like that and realizing that she basically couldn't live out her dream of traveling Japan. And once again, I'm thinking, you didn't get to live out your dream because the a-hole that you're engaged to took all your money. Why are you still engaged to this guy? But yeah, she's a teacher at school, and then that's when this dude shows up who completely dwarfs her. Even sitting down, he's almost as tall as her. And once again, I gotta say, Satomi is not tiny. She's not a small child. She's not a hobbit. Why does she look so young in this? Like she looks like a child, and I know I keep bringing that up, but it's just so disconnecting. Like I'm reading this and I'm like, is this really Satomi? Why is there why is there a small child with her name and we're following her adventures? But this guy basically blackmails her. He's like, I have some clients who wants to use your power. Like I know some very powerful people who want to talk to you. And if you don't, we're gonna go after your family. So now Satomi is in greater danger. And there's more. All I gotta say is, why don't you contact the other Radiants? Why don't you talk to them? You could just be like, hey, this dude somehow knows who I am and he's threatening my family. Can you guys help me out? I'm pretty sure they'd be willing to help you out. Instead, she decides, I'm gonna handle this alone. Whatever. I didn't care for this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being harsh. I'm gonna keep reading it, and I'm gonna see if it can win me over, because Radiant Red, the main series, did win me over. Like I started reading that series because I love the premise, and I love tokusatsu. I love like Kamen Rider, Ultraman, the Sentai series, Power Rangers. I love all that stuff. Garu. So I wanted to, when I found a series based off of that or inspired by that, I was like, sweet, I gotta check it out. And you guys can go watch the video. I said like it was boring. Like it has so much, it has so much potential, but it's not living up to it. But then eventually it won me over, and mostly that had to do with the switch in main character, and then the series like really taking off from there. But it won me over eventually. So I'm hoping this series can win me over before it ends its run. I mean, this is issue 1 of 5. So far, issue number 1 did not do anything to win me over. I thought this was pretty bland, and I don't know if I want to say terrible. The artwork is terrible. Well, let me rephrase that. The artwork is terrible for this kind of story. I think this artwork and the style will work really great for like a tween series, or a series towards like little kids. Like, like a Marvel kids comic, like, where you have the almost the chibi-like characters. What's the name of the Marvel and DC cartoon series that's specifically geared towards kids? That feels like this would work for that. Like this would be like a good like Teen Titans Go kind of comic. That's what this artist would be good for. Like, something like that. Something like this, like a serious superhero story, really not a good idea to go with this artist. I don't think it works. Yeah, the artwork is not great at all. It's pretty bad. I mean, again, for this kind of story, it doesn't work. The few action scenes don't look really all that great or engaging. Goddamn, what's the word I want to look for? Energetic. It doesn't really look all that energetic or anything like that. Again, Satomi looks like a small child, and again, this is a story that I don't care for. Like, it doesn't really need to be told. Why do I care about what Satomi is doing now? Why couldn't this be a part of the main run and have the other Radiants get involved? And then, you can do something like that. But instead, it's just, here's another spin-off for a character that we don't even know much about. And I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now, but I didn't care for this at all. Again, I'm going to keep reading it. I'm going to see if it wins me over. But if I wasn't, so if I didn't enjoy the main run so much, I would, and this was all we got, I would have not gone. I wouldn't have continued reading this. Like, let's say that there is no Radiant Black. This is just a brand new series, Radiant Red. It has no connection to Radiant Black. This is its own brand new thing. I would have dropped this immediately after this issue. That's how boring and bland and unentertaining this issue was. But again, maybe it can win me over. We'll see. But yeah, this was not good. Nothing here interested me. Okay, we got a cliche of a character, getting blackmailed to use their superpowers to do something. Otherwise, we're gonna go after your family. This brings nothing new to the Radiant Red universe. Again, maybe that will change in future issues. But so far, this brings nothing new to the lore or the universe. And yeah, I don't know why this is a thing. The only reason I can think of to have a Radiant Red is to maybe the author and illustrator for the main run need to take a break, or maybe they're running behind or something, and so this series came out to kind of fill that Radiant void in the meantime. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise this doesn't need to exist. There's no reason for this comic to ever come to life. Like, it brings nothing new to the table. But yeah, I'm gonna stop it there. Yeah, not a fan. But you guys tell me what you think, because I know there have been a lot of people who have different takes when it came to my Radiant stuff, especially my earlier stuff. I know there were a lot of people that really enjoyed the slice of life speed and slowness of the first few issues, and completely disagreed with me, and that's fine. I mean, if you like it, great. I hope that whatever you spend your money on, you enjoy. This is just my personal take. I didn't care for this, but I want to hear your guys' take. Did you guys like it? Are you happy with this issue so far? Are you looking forward to where this series is going? Or are you kind of in my camp where it's just you feel like it doesn't really bring anything to the table yet, and you're waiting to see if that would change? That's where I'm at. I feel like this issue doesn't need to be a thing, doesn't need to exist. The series brings nothing, no new lore, no new nothing to the series. But I'm willing to give it a chance to change my mind. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I would like to hear your guys' opinion. But take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay happy. Hope to see you next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.